9-3 Polygons Part 2, Classifying Polygons. Alright, our objective today is to name the different types of quadrilaterals. There's different ways of classifying quadrilaterals. First of all, let's go through the different types. You have your basic quadrilateral, which is any four-sided figure. So if it has four sides, it's a quadrilateral. Think like a quad that you write out in Glamis or whatever. It's got four wheels, just like this. Quarters in a game, four parts. Quarters in a dollar, four parts. Then you have your trapezoid. That's a quadrilateral with only one set of parallel sides. The other set won't be parallel. Parallelogram. That is a quadrilateral with two sets of parallel sides. Then you have your good old rectangle, and that's a parallelogram, but it has right angles in the corners. Then you have a rhombus, is a parallelogram with equal sides. A square is a rectangle with equal sides, or a rhombus with right angles, however you want to look at it. So, quadrilateral, four-sided figure. Here's an example. It's not the only one. You can have all the others. Basically, you can break it up into two types. You have your trapezoids, one set of parallel sides, and you can break that up into an isosceles trapezoid, which has one set of parallel sides, and the other two sets are, the other set of sides is equal to each other. Remember isosceles from the isosceles triangle where the two of the sides are the same. You then have your parallelogram, and that has two parallel sides, two sets of parallel sides. You can break that up into two subsections. Your rhombuses, which have four equal sides, and your rectangle, which has two pairs of equal sides with right angles. Then the rhombus and the parallelogram excuse me, come together and you get your square. In a square, it has four equal sides and right angles in each of the corners. So it's either a rhombus with right angles or a rectangle with equal sides. We're going to make a Venn diagram that accurately depicts the relationship between quadrilaterals, trapezoids, parallelograms, rhombuses, rectangles, and squares. So that's all. First of all, we have quadrilaterals, so everything inside here has to have four sides. And we have our trapezoids, and contained within our trapezoids are the ones that have one set of parallel sides. We then have our parallelograms, and within the parallelograms, that's two sets of parallel sides. We have one set is our rhombus, four equal sides. And then we have our rectangles, which have two sets of equal sides that are parallel, but with right angles in the corners. Overlapping between the rhombus and the rectangle is our square. Four equal sides, four 90-degree angles. And that's our picture. Okay, give all the names that apply to the figures below. Circle the most specific name. So look through these, come up with every name that applies to these figures. Write them down. Look above, look at your notes to see what are our choices, and then go from there. So pause the video, write them down, come back when you're ready. Number one, it's a parallelogram, two sets of parallel sides. It's a quadrilateral, four-sided figure. And I think that should be it. And parallelogram would be the most specific name. Okay, number two, down below, trapezoid, one set of parallel sides. It's also quadrilateral. And the most specific would be trapezoid. You might want to go with isosceles trapezoid if you're being really good here, but trapezoid is good enough. So number three, it's a four-sided figure. It's a parallelogram. It's a rectangle. It's also a rhombus. And it is a square. So it has all kinds. Now the most specific name would be square. Number 4 is a quadrilateral. It's a rhombus. And that should be it. The most specific name, oh, sorry, forgot parallelogram. And most specific name would be rhombus. State whether each statement is always true, sometimes true, or false. If you want, you can go ahead and do this on your own and then pause the video, come back when you're ready. So number 1, a square is a rectangle. That is true. Always true. A rectangle is a square. It can be, but it doesn't have to be, so that's sometimes true. All rectangles are squares. False. All squares are parallelograms. True. All quadrilaterals are rectangles. Not necessarily. You have your trapezoids. A square is a trapezoid. That's false. A parallelogram is a rectangle. That would be sometimes true. And that's it. So your assignment will be page 411, numbers 1 through 7. If you're in the flipped class, you do not need to do this for homework. You'll do it in the class. And we are done. Thank you very much. Goodbye.